Hey, welcome to Cow-Free Kicks. On this channel I review leather-free sneakers only, and today's video is all about the Nike Air VaporMax 2023 Flyknit. Welcome to the channel. If you've not seen one of my videos before, I always look into 5 different categories when I review a pair of sneakers, and they are looks, comfort, weight, breathability and price. Then at the end of the video, I will give an overall score out of 5 stars to these Nike Air VaporMax 2023 Flyknits. So let's kick off the review as we do with every single one by first checking them out on feet. Currently available in 2 different colorways via the Nike app and website. These Nike Air VaporMax 2023 Flyknits almost go back to their original roots. Now they look very similar to the early versions of the Nike Air VaporMax on the upper. They still do have this Nike VaporMax 2 midsole unit, which you can see here offers more air than any other Air unit that they've previously used, but they have used this same Air unit version on the 2020s and the 2021s. We didn't get a version in 2022, however we did get the Nike Air VaporMax Plus, which I guess could be considered the version for 2022. So this version for 2023 has got a lot riding on it because it's had a year out. But for me, they've changed the looks to make it look almost like the originals, but I just don't feel that this shoe overall looks like a great shoe on feet, because for me, it's just too reminiscent of a pair of football boots or football cleats with this kind of chunky, bobbly VaporMax unit on the midsole, and then you've got this Flyknit upper that it sits very tight on the middle of your foot and splays out towards the toe box. They're a very narrow shoe, so when you've got them on and you look from above, I just think they don't look that great on feet. But the features for the shoe I think have been improved overall from previous versions, because this all-in-one seamless Flyknit upper that you get with this shoe offers a really nice sock-like feel. Feels nice and soft to the touch, and also with this version you do get these additional threads that run from the lace loops on this traditional lacing system with a little bit of VaporMax branding at the top of the tongue. These threads run from each of the lace loops to create almost like a fly wire support system when you're doing these up to pull it in over your feet for a tighter, more comfortable ride. Now you get that throughout the shoe, as you can see the threads dipping off into different directions throughout the middle and towards the toe box. You get the traditional Nike swoosh. It almost feels like it's been heat embossed onto this upper because it's rough to the touch and it's definitely not sewn in, so they've probably heat pressed the swoosh on the outside and the inside of the shoe as well. When you move towards the heel of the shoe, one of the major changes is they've dropped that massive TPU hard plastic heel cup. They have still got TPU detailing that runs from the middle of the foot towards the rear, and you still see some VaporMax branding there, but it is a lot softer to the touch. You can see there it's not as a hardened heel cup as it used to be. The main difference for this shoe really is the fact that they've added a fleece-like liner around the top of the heel of the shoe and underneath the tongue. Now the tongue here is sewn in 50% of the way down, so it is kind of gulleted about 50% of the way through, so you can't pull it all the way out, but that does add to the sock-like feel, and you do get this soft fleece that runs about 50% down inside the tongue as well as around the heel. So overall they do offer quite a nice comfortable feel on top, which we'll talk about more in the comfort section. Also, they've changed the insole for these, so the sock liner for the shoe is this recycled sock liner, and it's fully perforated, so it's actually got air holes that run right through so that your feet are technically closer to this VaporMax 2 unit that again offers more bounce than you're going to get from any other VaporMax unit. They used it on the previous versions, the 21s and the 20s. Overall I think they look all right. I just don't think the VaporMax is a shoe for me, but they are one of Nike's best-selling shoes, or they have been previously, so it'll be interesting to see how this 23 version does. Now moving on to their comfort, where I want to put this VaporMax 2 system to the test on my back doorstep. So this Nike VaporMax 2 Air unit that features on these Nike Air VaporMax 2023 Flyknit is really broken up into 4 areas. You've got one air unit towards the toe box, another one towards the ball of your foot, that's then mirrored with the other one on the other side of the shoe, and then you get this larger air unit that runs from the middle all the way towards the heel, and that is the biggest air unit. And I feel that that is the only air unit that you really get a nice amount of bouncy, responsive bounce back from when you're walking on these in general. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're going to step on a stone or, you know, there's a bit of rough ground and it absorbs that and you can feel it absorb it in the toe area and the heel, and it does bounce back quite quickly. But if you're just walking on a flat surface generally, I didn't feel that much responsive bounce back from the toe area. I only really felt it from the larger air bubbles towards the rear of the sneaker. And that for me is a trend that I found with a lot of VaporMax sneakers, that when you get towards the toe, it really drops off comfort-wise, and I think that's something that they really need to resolve. This VaporMax 2 unit, yes, it offers more air than a lot of other units have previously, but I don't think it offers the greatest amount of comfort, especially when you compare it to a foam midsole and a lot of the Nike ones like the React. That is such a great midsole. When you compare that to how stiff this can feel towards the toe, it doesn't really offer that much comfort underfoot for me. Now, when you've got also these hardened rubber areas that are towards the ball of your foot here, just here, and towards the heel, that is there to create extra durability and hope that those areas where you wear them most away on your feet will last longer. I think they make them a little bit harder wearing too. So overall, comfort-wise underfoot, not the greatest. On top of your feet though, this addition of a fleecy collar and the fleece underneath the tongue really does add nice comfort around the collar of the heel, which you really missed from previous versions of the Nike Air VaporMax range, because it just used to be a thin Flyknit collar that didn't really add any comfort. And also, I do think it struggled a little bit to create a fixed fitting around the top of your feet because it was a little bit flappy, whereas this, because it is a lot larger and a lot bulkier, it does fit nicely around the top of your heel. So comfort-wise, the top of your feet, I think they feel absolutely great, but underneath your foot, I do feel like this air unit is a little bit average. Now, moving on to their weight, where I'm going to pop them on the scales. Coming in at all the threes, 333 grams, these Nike Air VaporMax 2023 Flyknits are the lightest shoe to feature this Nike VaporMax 2 midsole. So if you are going to buy a shoe with a VaporMax mid and you are looking for something that is going to be lightweight, this version is going to be for you. And I am happy with the weight that it came in with. To be honest, I think anything under the 350 gram mark and below can be considered a lightweight sneaker. So they do fit into the lightweight category. And I'm happy that they have reduced the weight from previous versions. Like the one in 2020 came in just under 350 grams. So they have knocked a nice amount of weight off previous versions. And like I said, I didn't get to review the one in 2021, unfortunately, but Nike have said it's the lightest ever, and I believe them in that respect. Now, moving on to their breathability, where I'm going to pump this perforated Flyknit upper full of smoke to see how breathable it is. No denying that this sneaker is one of the most breathable shoes that I will ever review. The Flyknit upper on this shoe, I believe, has more exaggerated perforations in it than previous Flyknit versions, and for that reason they are incredibly breathable. Now, any Flyknit shoe is going to be very breathable, but with this Flyknit construction that Nike have added to this VaporMax 2023, I think they're one of the most breathable shoes I have ever reviewed. You could see the smoke just flew out and completely engulfed the shoe incredibly quickly and in large amounts. So really, really nice result in the breathability test. But now we're going to move on to their price. Now, these set me back £205. That for me, like I've thought about it and I just think that is way too much to be paying for this pair of shoes. I think the price bracket for these is way too high. Now, yes, there's probably due to the production costs and the construction of this VaporMax 2 unit, which Nike have said is one of their most comfortable, but I really have to disagree with that, to be honest. And for this price, I was expecting absolute dreamlike comfort, but when I saw that they had the same VaporMax 2 Air unit on as previous versions, I knew that that wasn't going to be provided. And I am very disappointed that they've come in at £205 because I think is way too inflated a price. Now I want to move on to my overall score for these shoes, and I did give the VaporMax Flyknit 2020s 4 stars. And this is a better shoe because I think the lacing system being swapped out for traditional laces from that other pull disc system they had previously is a better fit for the sneaker. But I can't give these any more than 3 stars. Now that's possibly because my view of sneakers has changed over the years, and also the price of shoes I think has possibly changed. But I just can't see how you can justify charging £205 for this sneaker. Yes, it's lightweight. Yes, it's incredibly breathable, but it's average looks wise and it's average comfort wise, and the price is a real sticking point for me. So I don't think I can give these any more than 3 stars. Now don't forget, if you've liked what you've seen today, please do not forget to give the video a thumbs up, like before you leave. You can also follow me on Instagram. Please drop any comments below, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.